Hey guys, what's today? Friday. Happy Friday. How are you guys doing? How are you guys doing? Super blessed to come your way once again. Today, well, this is the daily motivational vlog that I do. My name is Gertrude Nontra. I'm a blogger, I'm an online entrepreneur, and I'm super excited to bring these daily vlogs to you. I have a lot of fun doing them, so I hope you have a lot of fun watching them. If you like the video, please make sure to heart it up. If you're not subscribed, go ahead and hit the subscribe button. And if you have a comment about this video, please remember to leave it below. So today I want to talk about something that I used to do, and I think I already let it out in the title. I used to complain and whine a lot. I used to complain and whine a lot. And I have to say that, looking back then, sometimes I'm like, wow, I was extremely whiny. Why was I so whiny, right? Why was I complaining so much? And it was because I would compare myself to other people. I look at other people's lives and assume that, life was super easy for them. And for me, life was so hard and life was so difficult. And, why don't I get the breaks that they get? And I would complain. And sometimes it wasn't even whining and complaining with my mouth. I do that too, but most of the time it was whining and complaining. And if you're here, make sure to, leave me a comment so I can say hi to you. It was whining and complaining because in my head, and even in the way that I responded to situations, something would happen. I'm like, oh, this is because, if my husband hadn't done this, if only I had an extra money, if only this, if only that, right? And so I always had all these if onlys. And I've since trained myself, and a lot of prayer has gone into it too, to learn not to complain, and to learn that when a situation happens, instead of my first response being complaining and whining, first of all, my first, response can be thankfulness that I'm even still alive. Number one, I can then begin to think about solutions. That, okay, this thing that happened is bad. This thing that happened is not good. But what is the solution? What is the answer to the problem? You know what I'm saying? So instead of looking at people to point fingers at, people to blame, situations to blame, circumstances to blame, I would rather take a step back and be like, okay, all right, let's just come back, come back to the whole problem. Yes, this is terrible. Yes, this is bad. But what can be done about it? What can I do? Or who can I call? Or what can be done to solve the problem? And when I began to approach life that way, things began to change drastically. And I didn't remain stuck, and I didn't stay in the same spot forever and ever. All right. So for instance, a few years ago, we moved to California. And if you've followed me a little bit, you probably know the story. And this week, I made a post on Instagram about this. When we moved to California, we were so excited. We were happy about the beach and the sun, right? And we're still happy about the beach and the sun. And if you're ever, in California, you should take advantage. We have so many beautiful beaches, so many beautiful mountains, so many beautiful rural areas. It's just a beautiful state, I have to be honest. But when we moved here, truly and really, things were expensive. Things were really expensive when you compare it to the East Coast of the United States or even the Midwest. The Midwest is, can be really cheap. So now I was like, oh my gosh, I have all this education, and why aren't things working out for me? Blah, blah, blah. And I had forgotten that I had a blog that I could begin to monetize. I had skills, I had intelligence, and I could use all of these things to make extra money into my home so that we wouldn't be so tight, so that things wouldn't be so difficult. And so when I finally decided to stop complaining and rise up, and this was both me and my husband being super supportive. Actually, one of my first social media client, he was the one that sent me the Craigslist. He sent me a Craigslist link for something else. But as I was looking at Craigslist that day, the same day, because I wouldn't have gone to Craigslist if he didn't send me that link, right? So I have to thank him, because when I went to Craigslist, I went and I put in for that job. I never heard from that person. But somebody else who was on Craigslist that day needed a social media manager. I reached out to her. She said yes. And that was like the beginning of, making an extra $1,000, $2,000 every single month with social media management. So, the point of my rant or the point of my talk, when things are bad, when situations are difficult, don't default to complaining. Please don't default to whining and pointing fingers and blaming. Just take a minute to like acknowledge that the situation is bad. Then, be thankful about the fact that you're even still alive. And then begin to think of ways that the problem can be solved. Who do I need to call? What do I need to do? Which email do I need to send for this situation to be solved in the shortest